Fun fact, Ace was the second rainbow character I got in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius. So obviously this means I have a lot of attachment to him, and yeah, no, I don't really know him, so I don't really care. Alright, Wildcard Ace has a Trustmaster reward throwing weapon called Wildcard. Wow. It's weaker than regular Ace's Super Trustmaster reward, Black Trump, or it would have been if it didn't have those passives attached to it. A 20% boost in magic and a weak killer on demons and machines lets this Trustmaster reward outclass the Super Trustmaster reward in a surprising twist. His Super Trustmaster reward, Vermilion Flag, is an accessory that flat out boosts magic by 60 and spirit by 50. Once the user enters the fray, they automatically cast the beginning of the end, which makes them immune to any magic and spirit breaks. That's obviously very useful against boss fights that debuff your team. Onto his active abilities. Offensive card is a really weak— OBJECTION! You better look at his passives first. His passive ability, Mother's Favor, massively boosts its damage modifier, making it a very strong attack. It doesn't make it his strongest attack though, but more on that later. Blind Stud Chains of Chaos Wave Awaken, but due to the fact that the passive ability doesn't buff it, it now becomes his weakest move. Granted, that's because its side effect is very niche and potentially very valuable. You see, it has the ability to nullify one spell. How useful is that? Like I said, it's very niche. I've used Rena, who has a similar ability, and she did help me avoid a death spell because the attack was coded as a magic spell. Though there are certainly many other ways around it. Well, it's not like this is his only ability, so let's move on. Support Hand Plus Chains of Chaos Wave Awaken, and lets everyone else dodge a single physical attack. Riku II has a similar ability, and I use it almost constantly, but that's due to the fact that she doesn't have many other choices at the time. Wildcard Ace has Summon Bios, an essential part of any decent damage dealer. He has Lightning and Ice, and both will imperil the enemy by that element by 100%. Break Sight gives Ace a demon and machine killer, and does damage that's actually weaker than the buffed offensive card. But wait, if you use a cooldown ability called Attack Hand Plus, it will turn into Kill Sight, though only if you choose to use the ability after you've casted Attack Hand Plus. Kill Sight grants Ace a stronger demon and machine killer for a longer duration, and now does more damage than offensive card. Alright, let's keep this going. Short Burst Plus does the same damage as offensive card, though Chains of Chaos Wave Awakened. It has a small chance to inflict both paralysis and stop, and lets Ace use the ability Giga Stop, which is basically a stronger version, and lets Ace use Terra Stop, which is a stronger version of that, and lets Ace use Pita Stop, which is an even stronger version and lets him use Pita Stop again. At this point, Pita Stop now guarantees both paralysis and stop, and deals much more damage than offensive card. Now we move back to his regular active abilities. HP Charge Plus deals the same damage as offensive card, and will automatically heal Ace next turn. But wait, once you use HP Charge Plus, you can then use Giga HP Charge, which is a stronger version of that, and that will let you use Terra HP Charge, which tacks on an HP barrier for Ace himself, and now heals the entire team. And Terra HP Charge will let you use Pita HP Charge, which now gives the entire team auto revive for a single turn, strengthens the HP barrier, heals everyone, and lets him use it again on the next turn. Okay, let's move back. Now we have MP Charge Plus, which deals the same damage as offensive card, and will automatically fill Ace's MP gauge by 50. But wait, who could have possibly seen this coming, but MP Charge Plus has now unlocked Giga MP Charge, which is a stronger version of that. But wait, Giga MP Charge will let Ace use Terra MP Charge, which now fills everyone's MP gauge, but only by the amount that MP Charge Plus did. But wait, that will turn into Pita MP Charge, which has the supportive capabilities of Giga MP Charge and brings it to the entire team. Of course, it also lets Ace continue using Pita MP Charge. Alright, back to his active abilities. Burst Plus decreases the enemy's ice and lightning resistance by 100%, and deals an extraordinary amount of damage, even more so than the Pita Charge attacks. The positives of this is that you don't have to cast a bunch of other skills to achieve this amount of damage. Furthermore, it lets Ace use Terra Burst, a stronger version of that. Not sure if you guys noticed, but we skipped Giga Burst. That's because Wildcard Ace has a stronger version even after Terra Burst unlocks Peta Burst, which is Exa Burst. Exa Burst will decrease the enemy's ice and lightning resistance by 120% and deal a massive amount of damage. With all of these Chaos Wave Awaken moves, you might be feeling sorry for an offensive card, which has been left out. But not to worry, Burst ++ Chains of Bolting Strike, and pretty much makes offensive card irrelevant. Burst ++ has the same effect as Burst Plus, and it mostly just exists to give Ace of Bolting Strike chaining option. Outside of that, it unlocks the same counterpart moves as Burst Plus. Those were a lot of active abilities, and now we can finally move on to the cooldown abilities. Misdirection is a weak Chaos Wave Awaken chaining move, but it has the nifty effect of making any one unit provoke the enemy's attack for a single turn. This would be great if it didn't have a 7-turn cooldown. It could be potentially game-changing, but it's not significant enough to be game-breaking. I've briefly mentioned Attack Hand Plus before. It's his startup move that boosts his magic by a significant amount and also does damage that Chains of Chaos Wave Awaken, which is a welcome change from everyone else's startup moves that didn't do any damage at all. Jackpot Triad is a powerful move that doesn't do anything else. But Raw Power is a talent of itself all the same. Summon True Eidolon makes Ace die. You can't equip a Genji shield on him either. Re-Race doesn't work either because Ace goes the extra mile to dispel himself. But on the plus side, the Esper gauge is filled and everyone gets a good amount of Limit Burst Crystals. Well, everyone else. Ace died after all. Finally, Cut Cards Plus unlocks all of Ace's most powerful moves for one turn, letting you select any of them to continue casting without starting over from the beginning. The downside? It's only available once you hit the 7th turn, and after that there's a 14-turn cooldown. It's great to have in the scenario that Ace dies, but at the same time you better make it count. Alright, let's move on to his passive abilities. Wildcard Ace can summon forth any Esper, though he probably won't in regular circumstances as he has to continue casting his most powerful moves if he wants to continue using them. He likes to dual wield, and has an innate 100% killer against demons and machines. He's also immune to Blind, Paralysis, and Charm. He also has a passive that gives him immunity to Confusion, increases his limit burst damage, and gives himself a demon and machine killer every turn. Furthermore, he has an MP refresh that also has the ability to fill up your entire team's MP gauge by 10 each turn. It's a nifty automatic boost that's appreciated since it's not an active ability. He also has a Guts buff, useful for a guy that really doesn't want to die. With Ace's playstyle, you don't really want to cast his limit burst often, but there are circumstances where you really should. For instance, the turn after he buffs his own magic, or on a turn where he has just revived. His limit burst is an incredibly powerful magic attack, and buffs his own magic by 250%. It's useful if Ace just lost his attack hand plus, and the damage is nothing to scoff at. And with that, let's create a rotation for him. There are really two ways that you can go. Either rely on his limit burst damage with limit burst damage equipment, or make use of his magic damage potential. But before I do that, I want to talk about Wildcard Ace's row. As you might have been able to figure out, he has some useful supporting capabilities that you may want to take advantage of, but keep in mind that you don't actually need his HP and MP refills. That's what a healer or supporter is for. You obviously don't have to use his Short Burst Plus family attacks either, as the damage amount is replicated by other attacks and Paralysis, Stop, and Death are probably not going to be very useful in most challenging content that you face. Keep in mind that Ace can only cast 3 skills at once, so you really have to be selective here. But with that said, I'm just going to use Ace as a magic damage dealer, so here I go. On turn 1, you cast Attack Hand Plus, Kill Sight, and choose an element. On turn 2, triple cast one of the Burst Plus moves. On turn 3, triple cast the Terror version of the Burst move. On turn 4, you can cast his buffs once again, but you don't actually have to considering that they're still up. Instead, you can double cast the Peta version of the Burst move and then use Jackpot Triad. On turn 5, you should cast Attack Hand Plus, Kill Sight, and cast the Exa Burst move. On turn 6, you should select the element and double cast the Exa Burst move. On turn 7, his Cut Cards Plus ability is available, but it may be best to save that until you feel that you'll need one of his fully upgraded moves on the next turn. I advise continuing on with the Exaburst attacks, and remember to give him his buffs when they're down. Remember that if you want to keep one of the more powerful chaining moves up, you have to cast it at least once each turn. Smart planning and foresight with Wildcard Ace is key, as unless you're past the 7th turn, it's going to take some time to get the extremely good supporting abilities and attacks ready. Wildcard Ace doesn't have any on-demand Limit Burst fill abilities, so it's difficult to incorporate his Limit Burst into his moveset, since it's not a given that it will be filled on certain turns. That's not to say you shouldn't use it, but keep in mind that casting it will effectively cut off his more powerful chaining attacks. Of course, this is a non-issue once Cut Cards Plus is available, and there is no reason not to use it the moment Ace is ready. In fact, one of the best times to use it is after Exaburst has been cast, and all of Ace's buffs are up. Wildcard Ace is a potentially versatile unit. Turning one unit into a provoke tank for a single turn is pretty niche, but it may come in handy in certain battles. He can serve as a basic healer as well, but keep in mind that will inevitably cut off some of his damage. Placing him in a proper team is imperative, as Ace will lose a lot of his buffs if an enemy manages to kill him. But all that aside, Wildcard Ace is an extremely fun character to play, so long as you're fine with the unlocking mechanic for his attacks. Furthermore, he's not just a damage dealer that exists to be power crap, as his side abilities ensure that he'll get to see additional use when you want to skimp out on other units. Paired up with the fact that his banner also features another powerful magic damage dealer, and I don't see any reason not to pull on it. Of course, that's entirely up to you, but regardless, thanks for watching, and if you like this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Comment below if you plan to summon Ace, and tell me if you know what Final Fantasy Type 0 is.